Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to the Pete Torre Business Hour. We're coming to you live from Miami, Florida on 880 a.m. For the first time on the program, and I know he's going to have so much fun today that he's going to be coming back on several different occasions. And, of course, that is the acting dean of FIU's College of Business, Jose M. Aldrich, and we're going to take a close look at what's going on with the university and the things, the programs, the plans, the objectives. So Jose is going to be with us, and we're going to have, I think, a great, insightful conversation. But at the same time, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and because this is a university that is just energizing this community, and we're so glad to be partners with them. But without further ado, and I'm sitting in a chair that's literally sinking on me here, but we're going to make this thing happen, is Acting Dean of the College of Business at FIU, Jose M. Aldrich. How are you this morning?
Great. Thank you, Pete, and thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Jose, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Cuban-American. I grew up here in Miami. I spent my entire life here. This is home. When I started my professional career, I started with a firm called Pete Marwick Mitchell, which later became KPMG. I ended my career here in Miami after several stints in Venezuela early on in the 80s, and then in New York for 6 years. So coming back home here to Miami, I've been back now for about 11 years, and I've really enjoyed being back in this community and also with FIU during this time.
FIU is got so much that we can talk about in terms of FIU. The 50-year anniversary is it's just something, an amazing accomplishment when you think about it. Where this community was back in the mid-1960s and where it is today, and how things have developed and progressed through the years. And I would say, and I've been in this community all my life, that FIU from the beginning was something unique and very, very special. It started, with, I believe it was 2 buildings at the time when we first opened up. I know when I went, there were 4 buildings, so it really it doubled in size. Yeah. Back in the late 70s. And you look at what's going on today and so many different rankings at so many different levels there. But the College of Business now is I think, rapidly becoming one of the top business schools, not even in the country, but the world. And I know that you've got to be excited about that as the acting dean.
Yeah, well, Pete, we're everywhere. I mean, anywhere, I think just about any country that you go to in the world, there's a FIU alum. We've got relationships with universities across the world. International is our middle name, and that's one of the areas that we focus on a great deal. We're highly ranked across the world. Our international business programs are ranked in the top 20, our graduate school. We've got rankings 8th in the nation on international business undergraduate by U.S. News and World Report, our finance, marketing. So we've made tremendous strides, and I think that really reflects our commitment to this community. And I think South Florida is the place that we focus a great deal, but we bring that international expertise and culture to our students. How do you do business abroad? We bring students from across the world here to South Florida, and how do you do business in the U.S.? So it's a great cultural mix, and I think our students come out better prepared in this new global world that we live in today.
I was at a meeting a couple days ago at the university with some of your colleagues, and one of the things that I've believed for the longest period of time, and I think it's more obvious than ever, is that you look at the other great institutions in the state of Florida, Gainesville, Tallahassee, and others like that, and they've been around a long time, and they've made their impact, and they have an incredible alumni. But in terms of positioning not just South Florida, but the state of Florida globally, I think it's been FIU that's taken the lead on that because one thing is to have a name, but the other thing is to be able to walk the talk. And I think in many times FIU is running the talk and moving forward and doing things in a way that is they're not waiting for the university is not waiting for things to happen. The university is part of what's happening.
That's correct. I think that's great. We see that across the university. We have a great president, Mark Rosenberg, that also focuses on that. We look to the future. We always try to stay a step ahead of what's happening in the world, what's happening in our community here as well. And our biggest challenge is making sure that we provide the kind of experience for our students so when they leave FIU, They're ready to meet the challenges they're going to face in the business world. We stay a step ahead. I think international, when you look at our student body and you compare it to those in the other universities across the state, we have a tremendous diversity. We've got, large number of Hispanics, students from all over the world. And yes, we do take that global approach and that international aspect, and we embed it in all of our programs. You see that across the university, and particularly in the business school. I mean, international is a thread that we get. Our faculty is very diverse as well, and we bring that ability and that interaction. I taught one class this last semester, as the vice dean in my prior year and a half with FIU. And it was a tax class. Imagine a tax class. But I had a group of students, 40 students, of which I had 2 from Africa. There were 4 from Eastern Europe. There was 2 from China, 1 from Vietnam, 1 from the Philippines, several Hispanics from Latin American countries. And I was shocked. They're learning U.S. tax. And the ability to have discussions and understand different cultures and how they view the issues was so enriching that I think the students really enjoyed that kind of discussion, and they enjoy that in every class that we have. So it's truly international.
It is, and it's what you said a couple of minutes ago. It's a fact of preparing the students from South Florida and the U.S. to be able to be a global player, to be a global contributor, and vice versa. It's bringing in those students from Latin America, from Europe, and other parts of the world. So that connection that is being made at here in Miami, and FIU being that epicenter of all that is going on, it's just feeding this global market. And any serious city or market in the country is not thinking globally and doing the things that will help to promote that and grow it and make it go forward, is really losing opportunities. And the fact that you look at FIU and of course the campus in China and other things that are going on there, and other outreach programs that are happening. It's there's a lot going on right now, but the university is also constantly ahead of the curve and looking for ways to enhance that and grow all of that there. Now, the alumni group of FIU is really starting to take off. My understanding there's about 50,000 alumni at the university.
There's 50,000 at the College of Business.
The College of Business.
Only the College of Business. So you can imagine a university with 54,000 students today, the number of alums that we have in South Florida and across the world. We have upwards of 25,000 alums that work in South Florida from the business school alone. So we're part of this community. Anywhere you go, FIU is in this community. And what you were saying, this is a world-class community that's developing here. And it is at the center of international global trade, global business, innovation, data. There's so many interesting things going on here. And that student body that's here is really what we try to create in our students as well, is that sense of community as well. Because we need to drive the future of this city, and education, we feel, is a pillar, one of the pillars that drives a world-class community like South Florida.
Well, you bring up education, Jose. Back about almost 20 years ago, a movement initiative was launched called One Community, One Go by the late Jay Molina.
Right.
And it identified 7 core industries, and the idea was to have a collaborative effort to help produce X amount of jobs and well-paying jobs. And, they went at it for a few years and kind of, fizzled out. But then back in 2011, I believe, I'm not mistaken, 2012 actually, the Beacon Council said, I think we need to take a hard look at this. The economy is going through a difficult time. We've got to, again, try to revitalize this program, One Community, One Go. And they went through their process and ended up identifying basically the same industry sectors with a couple of tweaks here and there. But the difference this time around was education. Education is the connector of all the industries. And I know that the leader in all of this, representing that entire movement and initiative, is Dr. Mark Rosenberg. Yes. And I've had him on the program. In fact, we're going to take a hard look again in July at One Community, One Go. But how important is, from your perspective, that One Community, One Go, and the fact that education really is the foundation of feeding and enhancing all of the industry sectors.
Well, I think that's the commitment that we have. I think it's extremely important. And you can see that across the U.S. and across the world. Communities that come together and pull all the aspects of that community together, the government, business, education, and have that root or that base and foundation in their communities. And they come together, working together for the future. I think it's what drives it. And education, the big advantage that gives us as the institution that's in this community is knowing how do we take and how do we be innovative in our programs to address those needs of one community, one goal? Where is this community going? Where does it need to go? And how do we tailor our programs to make sure we create that talent, we create the individuals, we give them that sense of community, and we try to embed that everywhere we go. We even reach down to the high school levels, and we pull in the students at that point and get them involved. Our students, we try to involve them in the community as well. So it's not just the educational experience, but it's understanding their commitment to this community and the world community, actually, from our perspective. It's amazing. One thing that we talk about is the students that we bring in from abroad and how many want to stay here. Once they see South Florida, of course, we have great climate, it's other attributes. But when they see South Florida, they see the business community, where we're going, and how it's beginning to come together with great leadership like Dr. Rosenberg and others that are involved in that.
Of course.
They stay. They want to stay.
Absolutely. Well, we're here this morning with Acting Dean Jose M. Aldrich with Florida International University's College of Business. We all lovingly call the university FIU, one of the most, I think, recognizable acronyms in South Florida. And we're going to continue our conversation about the College of Business, and we're going to get to know Jose a little bit more and understand what motivates Jose in terms of his present responsibilities with the College of Business and what it means to you, the listeners. So I want you to stay with us and tune in with that. And you talk about it's possible and possibilities. That's what FIU College of Business is all about. And here today, speaking on behalf of the university and the College of Business, is Acting Dean Jose M. Aldrich. And let me share with you, my friends, some of the important aspects of Jose's background. And, we're talking with a someone here that is, more than ready, I think, and I hope personally that through at the end of the process, and I know there's an extended process that that you are seriously considered as the permanent dean of the College of Business. I mean, let me share with everyone here a little bit about Jose. He's a 35-year veteran of KBMG LLP. Prior to joining FIU, served as managing partner in charge of KPMG's LLP's tax practice in Latin America. In that role, he redirected the strategic vision of 16 different country practices to build a regional practice encompassing 114 partners and 1,800 professionals. As Vice Dean of FIU's College of Business, Aldrich's responsibility have included leading the college's internal finance and management information systems teams and assisting the dean in strategic and operational planning. He's also a member of the faculty of the School of Accounting, where he teaches tax. And boy, I remember my accounting days, classes at FIU. They were humbling, to say the least there, but very effective. Jose received a bachelor's degree in Juris Doctor from the University of Miami. He's a licensed attorney and certified public accountant in the state of Florida. So, yes, Jose, I think you've got a lot that you bring to the table, and this is important because it takes a lot to be able to lead this College of Business. And personally myself, we're going to be sitting here. Hopefully, we can see you in that role soon.
Well, thank you, Pete. That was a wonderful introduction. I have been very involved with FIU for many years as well. I was on the Dean's Council with the prior deans for 10 years. I chaired that council for a couple of years as well. I was also on the foundation board, FIU's foundation board. I have 2 children that graduated from one from the International MBA program and one from the undergraduate in finance. So I've got deep connections and roots with FIU, and that's what motivated me to be here. So I think that now in this role as acting dean, I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference for our students, for the college. And I think I have, the path to do that with a great faculty that we have and great staff trying to move this forward and making an impact, continue to make an impact on this community as we begin meeting the challenges that the world brings as things move forward in this community.
Let's suppose I'm driving this morning and I'm listening to this dialogue, this conversation.
Right.
Why should, and I'm looking at taking my education to the next level, regardless of where I'm at. Maybe I'm a business owner or someone younger and all that. What can FIU College of Business do for me?
It can help you no matter what you do. If you're an entrepreneur, how to move that business to the next level. If you're looking to move up within an organization that you're working on, it can give you the credentials to move up as well and the know-how. Because at the end of the day, it's part of it is the know-how, but it's also the know-who. And within FIU, you begin to network with other individuals in similar circumstances. And we've got, like I said, more than 25,000 alums here that are working in this community. So the ability of tapping that network here or anywhere else in the world to help you as you move forward is extremely important. So I think that we have the right, mix. Our programs, our MBA programs, we have all formats, fully online, hybrids, face-to-face, weekends, evenings. So whatever your needs are, if you're working, we can help you achieve the goals that you need from an educational level to be able to move forward and move up.
I don't know if that exists as a tagline, but I love know-how, not just know-how, but know-who.
Right.
And that, I think, says it all, because we can learn how, and there's many great universities and colleges around the country. We can know how to do this, but it's, and taking that how and then being able to implement it so that, along the way, then, you start to meet and connect and create relationships there. And I think when you look at FIU, and when so many of us talk about FIU, College of Business, and as a whole, it really is an institution that, as we spoke about before we started the program, that is truly engaged in the community. Sure. And regardless, whatever you do, my friends, whatever kind of business you may have, it's that also community engagement that really makes a difference, because it's about giving back and truly making an impact, rolling up your sleeves and get out there in the community to go beyond the four walls of a classroom. And I believe that that's what FIU's been doing there. Now, this month we've been celebrating International Trade Month, and obviously the middle name of the university is, the name is International. Relevant to international trade, tell us a little bit about what the College of Business is doing to promote that and enhance international trade.
Well, we're developing, we've got a very strong program. We've got one of our faculty members, Ron Messia. He is, I don't know if you want to call it, he's the expert or the guru in logistics and trade and supply chain. So we've got a very strong program in that area. We're looking very closely at what changes are coming along in the world, where that traffic flow of goods will be, and how Miami is positioned to do that. With our new port, deeper port, our tunnel going into the port, the ability to take the larger ships coming through the canal. We're looking at this trade agreement with the Pacific Trade Agreement, how that will change those flows coming through here and to connect into that agreement. So it's connecting the east coast of the U.S. to the west and to the Pacific as well as vice versa. So we've got that. We focus on that a great deal, and we think that trade is one of the areas that we as a university are focusing on in a very significant way.
I think there are multiple opportunities in international trade, in the logistics side of it there that, a lot of folks are saying, I want to do something new with my life and my career. And if you're here in Miami, South Florida, that's a pretty good option, I would think. Oh. And the university now has programs. I know there's a few college universities around the country that offer that, but, again, that's another example of getting to know how so that you can know who along the way there.
I think what's important as well is that we have the ability here, given the fact that we have so much trade and commerce that comes through here, is we've got the ability for significant internships as well. We reach out into the port, the companies, the cargo companies, even the cruise ships, the airport, and we connect with opportunities for our students as well in that. So there's visits to companies. So it's not just looking and looking at the theory, but looking at the practical aspects. Outside the U.S. as well, we have the ability to take our students, and we have companies throughout Latin America, Europe, that work in this area as well, that are offering scholarships as well as internships for our students to work. So it's one of the very interesting areas that we can offer as a university.
Internships are a big part of One Community, One Goal.
Yes.
I know there's some initiatives there as well. We got a couple of minutes left here, Jose. The Small Business Development Center with FIU, that partnership, that alliance has been, I think, a very important one that was started at the beginning of last year, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit about the impact that the SBDC with FIU has been able to make to the, again, further development of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, well, we have a center here, and the center, what it does is it takes these smaller companies and medium-sized companies and helps them, even from the startup phase, get your business plan together, what kind of financing, and helps them place that and develops that. We've had great success in the community here doing that. Several companies that we've helped over the years, we're looking at, we've raised several $1 million of capital and investment for many of those. We put that together with our entrepreneurship. We have a Pinot Entrepreneurship Center, and they work in parallel, collaborating, helping these companies do that. We've got entrepreneurship also as part of our curriculum and one. So all of that comes together, and SBDC is really the outreach into the community that helps our small businesses, medium businesses, tap into this global economy and to take their businesses, these individuals, to the next level. There's no cost. We provide this, this consulting and the help at no cost to the community. So it's been a great success.
Matter of fact, we've had Jacqueline Sosa on the show before and have spoken on several occasions about the SBDC and the programs that are being offered. And there's a team of experienced, seasoned entrepreneurs, professionals that are part of passing on all this vital information. I know that the College of Business has several graduate business programs. I think there's something going on all the time there. We've got something coming up soon. I know that Saturday, June 13th, is another important date. Can you tell us, we got about a minute left, can you tell us briefly about that?
Yeah, that's our graduate open house where where all individuals that are interested can come and learn about our business programs and requirements. They meet faculty, advisors, and we have on-the-spot admissions. If you come with certain information, if you get into our website, business.fiu.edu, you'll see the information you need. We can give you on-the-spot admissions. It's a great event. We get a lot of interest in that, and I welcome all of you that are interested in moving into that next level and master's program, enhancing your careers, to visit us.
It's a great get-to-know environment. You
Right.
really get an overview there. And, of course, we'll talk more about it as we get closer, but the Hall of Fame Awards is happening in October. And, we honor entrepreneurs. And I know that the team at FIU College of Business is going to keep me busy talking that up as we get closer. This has been terrific. This has been great, and we want to have you back on the program as often as we possibly can. I know, you're busy now, but probably going to get busier. How can the listeners connect with you or the College of Business?
Well, you connect that through our website at business.fiu.edu, and there you will find whatever you need. You will find access to any of us. I'm willing, if you want to talk about something, you want to look about your career, there's multiple ways and avenues to reach us.
Terrific. Thank you so much. This has been fun.
All right. Thank you, Pete. I enjoyed it very much.
Okay.